Wait. So this gives background on the relationship. War started in 1941 after the attack on Pearl Harbor, which I'm sure you've all heard about. But after that, there was a lot of anti-Japanese feelings in the U.S. The reason they attacked Pearl Harbor was because Japan, as an empire, wanted to expand throughout the Pacific, and they thought if they attacked Hawaii, that it would push the U.S. back into the continental mainland, so Japan could expand more throughout the Pacific. So because of that, it was pretty unwarranted. There was no real warning. There hadn't been tensions. I mean, there probably had been a little bit of tensions, but it wasn't clear that Japan was going to attack. So then immediately, of course, there are going to be a lot of anti-Japanese feelings in the U.S. So because of that, FDR, the President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, felt the need to intern the Japanese. Because one, Japan had an intricate spy network that had been operating throughout sort of the last century, and spies are obviously important to the intelligence of the country, and that could sway the war one way or another. And so that was just kind of precaution. What we're going to talk about later, actually, after I'm done, is sort of what you guys sort of think about the whole thing. And also, it just goes to the safety of the country. It was only West Coast. 110,000 ended up being interned, and it was 62% of the internment was of American citizens who are also of Japanese descent. And if you were, up to like 1/8 Japanese, you could be interned. It was mostly West Coast, as you can see. All the little dots are little camps, and then the triangles are the big relocation centers where they sent thousands of Japanese. Although it was a lot of West Coast, it was really unevenly. It was weird because Hawaii, where more than 1/3 of the Japanese population lived, it was only 20% of them were interned, but all down in California, it was almost all of them. So it was kind of weird how they didn't kind of do an even job of interning people. But that lasted from right after Pearl Harbor